Hello, operators, whether you're tier 1 or tier none, you're welcome here. I was the white motorcycle policeman. So this has not only helped one child, it is available online. You can get the hard copy. You can something called streaming, something called downloading. This is not only helping his child and helping restore his family life and giving his son a good night's rest, it's helping hundreds, if not thousands of people. You get testimonials
daily.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are incredibly moving.
So get a load of that, folks. If you get hurt, you get injured, you got to pick up a hobby, and you got to take that hobby, and you got to make a difference with that. Can you imagine, out of that adversity, this person who intended to do Brian harm, shot Brian. I know people like to say critical incident. I like to say the facts. Brian was shot by somebody who intended him
to murder
him. Out of that, instead of becoming an expert player of whatever that video game was you did,
MLB The Show.
See, we had Pong and we didn't even have we had Pong. So I don't know what MLB. I think that's Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah. So what did he do? And I'm bragging on him because he's a friend, and I think it's the greatest thing ever. Learned the guitar, reached out, got some science behind it, tested it on his own child, developed this, and you did all this on your own, right?
Yes.
You're the whole production company.
Yeah.
You're the whole social media program.
The whole thing.
The Facebook, the Instagram.
All of it.
All of it yourself.
Yep.
Amazing. How many people have we reached with this so far?
So, we just crossed 1 million streams.
1 million.
Between Spotify and Apple Music. We've sold, I don't even know how many CDs now. It is, a week after it was released, it became the #1 new release in children's lullabies on Amazon.com for 3 months.
Wow.
It continues to trend in the top 10 children's lullabies on Amazon today. And starting about mid-July, it reached the Billboard charts in the New Age album category, where it's remained now for 15 weeks.
That's going to be even higher by the time we air. See, folks, when I say tens of dollars, stick with me. People associated with me, people are making literally tens of dollars by doing the things they love.
Yeah.
Now, this is an entire album. This is how many songs?
It's 15 songs, and they're all laid out in specific purpose. So the first couple songs are actually designed to stress your mind and overload it, with songs 3 and 4 being used to essentially reset and relax you and allow you to partake in the goodness that follows, if you will. And then the whole album is set specifically to the average sleeping heart rate of kids between age 6 and 13.
So they hear the whole thing every night?
Yeah. So what I tell people to do, the best thing to do is to come along and play songs 1 through 15, right in order. Don't put this on shuffle; it won't work. You'll actually screw up your brain waves.
I wish that's probably what happened to me, but
yeah, well, you know,
that was the '80s dance mix shuffle. No,
wow.
I'm sorry.
So play songs 1 through 15, and then once the album goes through one complete iteration, then just put songs 10 through 15 on repeat all night.
And you can do most people know how to do this from their device?
Yeah, so like if you have a Spotify subscription, if you just search ADHD Lullaby, which is the name of the album, and then official playlist, I've already set that up for 10 hours of sustained sleep.
Outstanding.
So it's got 1 through 15 and then 10 through 15 on repeat. And resoundingly, what we're seeing is most kids, now I recognize as much as I want this to be a magic drug for everybody, it's not. Most kids with ADHD who are on stimulant medications are falling asleep in about 30 minutes.
Outstanding.
Versus 2 or 3 hours. And it's a massive improvement. And then more importantly is they're staying asleep. And so we're making sure that, or at least we're helping get them the rest they need.
Will you be at any point in the future doing one for geriatrics? For people over a certain age, because I would love to sleep more than 2 hours. Is there a tone that would tell my prostate and bladder to behave that might let me sleep for more than 2 hours? Have you researched that? Would you be willing to?
Probably not. Ironically enough, so one of the things I do have is I have a patent on the method used to record this, or I should say it's a patent pending on the method used to record this. And so
I know what that means because I watch Shark Tank.
Yes.
That's always asked, and forgive me for not asking that sooner.
Yes. My plan here in December is I'm going to be releasing a 25-minute song. One song, 25 minutes long, specifically for adults for power naps. So taking that same technology that works in
Oh, I'm listening.
the ADHD lullaby, and that's going to be a 25-minute power nap song. So when you're in the middle of the day, you finish lunch, and you want to put your head down for 25 minutes and need to tune out the world, bada bing, bada boom.
Will it wake me up within the 25 minutes?
No,
Okay.
but your boss will.
Ah, yes, that's true.
And then in 2020, my goal is to release an entire full-length album specifically for adults with ADHD who also have trouble sleeping.
Wow.
And we'll go from there. We might do one on study focus. We can use the technology and the recording method behind this album for a lot of different things. So like pre-game mental stimulation, study focus. I'm trying to think what else are.
I could see that in the flotation tank, the flotation pod, the isolation stuff.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Love to sell. Yeah, Google if you're listening.
No
I'd love to
doubt.
sell you this and have you put this in your little power nap
Yes,
bubbles
Google, please.
at Google.
That would be
It
awesome.
would be.
Think of the tens of dollars, folks, that could come in.
Well, maybe 11.
Okay, well, yes. But I like to underpromise, and the way people are overwhelmed when they see that it's more than 10.
Yeah.
So you've got it all planned out. You've got it all figured out.
I wish I did.
At some point, is this going to get top heavy and become full time for you?
No, I won't leave the sheriff's office.
I knew that was. Let's get back to that. Speaking of the sheriff's office and that critical incident, when things happen, bad things happen to police here in Arizona, and I'm sure it's the same in most parts of the country. I get upset when we have to do things like car washes to meet their needs, or to have barbecues and things like that. And you never know what to say. You and I had some history, so
I'm going to opine on that a second.
okay, because I need to know, because you never know what to say. Hey, like this last Tempe shooting, I've known her longer than I've known you, that officer, and the only thing I could think to say was, wasn't I voted most likely to get shot before you were? And I really didn't know what to say, because you don't know what to say. All that emotion comes up because you see that they're going to be okay, but people don't get. They hear non-life threatening, and they don't get that it can be career threatening. Mm-hmm. It can be career ending, because where do we get shot? We get shot in the limbs oftentimes. Mm-hmm. Bad guys, for some reason, do not practice the way we do. They don't dry fire. But they get some hellacious shots off on the run, on moving while impaired. So as a community, did we do right by you, and what could we do better?
So let's go back to the car washes for a second. And the other, we'll call it fundraisers and barbecues and things like that. A very close friend of mine, and actually a friend of yours, you know her, said something to my wife that I've never forgotten. And it got a little overwhelming in the sense that there was like a train of police wives that were bringing dinner to the house every single night for 2 months. And it got a little old, but what she said to us was, you have to understand that when one of us gets hurt, we all get hurt. And so we're all going through this grieving process. And we don't know what to say. We don't know what to do. We don't have the right words. And so doing the things like putting on a car wash or putting on a barbecue or bringing dinner to the families or whatever it is, it's kind of like our community's way of saying, not only are we here for you, we're sorry this happened to you, and we're going to make sure you're taken care of. And so on some level, from an outsider looking in, it's like, oh, you're having a car wash? I mean, like, how much money could you really raise with a car wash? You might raise 20, 30 grand in a car wash. And, for the family of a deceased officer or deputy, that's nothing. 20 grand,
See, and I think I wish the state would step up. I wish that we had things in place so that I understand, and I do like that explanation. Thank you for sharing that with me. But I would love somehow for the system to be set up so that if, God forbid, that should happen, that you just know that you're taken care of by the agency, the state, and the community.
There's some things in place, and my understanding is the state, if you have an officer or deputy killed in line of duty, or a trooper, I should say too, the state not only, I believe, picks up health insurance for the
Okay,
family.
good.
The children of that officer, trooper, or deputy have free tuition at any of the state universities, so NAU, ASU, University of Arizona. There's some other benefits in there too for the families that the state provides. There's federal benefits. There's federal grants, and there's a lot of stuff there. You know, from a financial standpoint, the things that I see that what officers, deputies, troopers don't really get taught in the academy is how to set up yourself in the event of a critical incident. Maybe it's a disability, right? There's so many officers, troopers, and deputies out there that are working off-duty jobs, security, road construction, and they're really using that money to supplement their family.
Exactly.
They get hurt, that goes away. And the disability insurance they have through work covers their salary, not the other 2/3 of their income, which is coming from these various off-duty jobs or outside gigs that they have. And to me, that's the bigger threat. And there really isn't anything in place that will help these officers and deputies and troopers in the event that occurs. The other thing that
So what, is there something that they should be doing?
Well, I think they should, total up their income in a given year and figure out how much disability insurance they have, and then go buy a disability insurance policy privately and not through work.
Excellent idea.
And then the other thing is go buy life insurance, right? You come out of the academy, you're in the best shape of your life. Most of them are extremely young. What's the average age of academy graduation? Under 30? You can buy a couple $1 million in life insurance for $40 at that age a month. Why wouldn't you do that? Cover you for your entire career. Something bad happens to you right now. I know that if I get killed in the line of duty, my family gets $6 million. They're fine. To heck with whatever the state and the feds provide.
Right.
My family's going to be just fine. And I bought that when I was young and healthy, and it doesn't cost me that much money to do that.
So they should be teaching that in the academy. They should have a whole personal finance section.
And they don't.
That's a really good point.
They don't. It's no
That
different.
makes a lot of sense.
It is no different than the question I ask is, why do we need to know the Pythagorean theorem to graduate high school and not how to balance a checkbook?
Exactly.
It's no different.
And cursive now. You don't have to write. Kids don't even learn how to write cursive anymore.
Don't get me started on that.
What do they put on citations now when you do give people tickets, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Just make their mark.
I hope for those of you just listening, you did not get to see that smile, but for those of you who are listening and watching, that grin says it all. Look at those dimples. Oh, yes, he gives citations.
yes.
What are young people putting on there now, an X?
No, millennials just write their name in like block lettering.
Wow.
You
It's-
really see that?
Oh, it's incredible.
Really?
At Christmas time, visiting a family, the young lady's passing out the gifts. Her grandmother writes their names out. She could not even read her own name in cursive. She had to say, "Grandma, who's this for?" And she goes, "Well, that's your name in cursive." They don't teach it in school.
They don't teach it. A lot of schools don't teach it. Some schools do.
I've heard it back and forth and all that stuff, but I guess I just didn't think about real day-to-day,
And let's
Wow.
let the conspiracy theorist in me come out and say,
I know a person whose daughter is in high school that attends their PE class online, and that blew
that would be me. I'd say,
that blew my mind.
I'm all for that.
I was like,
But
how does that work?
I also understand why they don't teach cursive anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Because-
I
can
get that
type-
side of it.
I can type 80 words a minute
Sure.
faster than I can write cursive.
Sure.
As a kid in high school and college, I didn't have a computer sitting in front of me
Right.
to take notes with. I had to scratch out notes as fast as humanly possible to keep up with the professor or the teacher. Nowadays, what these kids do is they sit there and they put their iPad on their desk. They might have a little, keyboard to write notes in. They hit record inside of Evernote, and they've got the entire class in recording. And if for $20 a month, they can take that recording, send it to some phone app that will transcribe the entire thing.
Now,
Do you realize how easy it is to be a student today?
I'm going back to school for that and many
I
other
would have
reasons.
been like an A student with the way you just laid it out.
It's
There's actually no
incredible.
reason to be failing with the way you just laid it out.
So,
None.
I agree with all that, but in one of my AOL chat rooms that I maintain, of the 7 that I still maintain, the one
Wait, did you just say you hang on to AOL?
AOL chat rooms, I have one on
Saving
You
those
still have a
little discs.
Hotmail account, too,
absolutely,
don't you?
and
Saving
one of them
the
is
little free
we're talking
AOL discs.
about conspiracy theories. See, you guys are paid by the government to try to silence me. The reason they did away with cursive is so that no one can read the Constitution or the Bill of Rights for themselves. That's what I garnered.
You may be onto something.
No, I garnered that from my AOL chat room. 7 visitors in the last 15 years. 6 of them were me.
I'm going to respectfully disagree.
It's a lot of coast to coast listening. That's what that is.
Hey, I don't want those people after me.
That's
Have you seen what they can do?
That's a little obtuse, if you
If
ask
you
me.
mention the coast to coast people and they get mad at us, you don't know the.
It's okay. We'll edit that part out. It's fine.
They probably have a listening device in here, given what they've done. Your next project, because you've got plenty of room on your calendar, is to draft the proposed basic finance class for deputies, officers, troopers. So do you need a whole day or a half day to teach that class?
Need about 4 hours.
I'd come to that if you had some stats.
Well, and I call it the GoFundMe revolution. Everybody today seems to finance the oh crap moments with GoFundMe, and that's
and
on one level I get it, but on another level it's basically said to an entire generation, you don't have to have personal responsibility because if anything bad happens to you, there's always GoFundMe.